everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 2 of my 15 days of beauty. Yesterday I uploaded my favorite skin tinted moisturizers, foundations. Today is all about concealers. Up here on the screen is an image of my age, my skin type, what I like and what I dislike in concealer. I feel like that information is important for the audience to know, so that as I'm going through these products, you will kind of know what I need and like in a concealer. I will also list that information in the description box down below, along with links to the products that I'm talking about in today's video. And I don't have as many concealers as I did the tinted moisturizer and the skin tint and foundations. So this video is going to be kind of short and sweet. These are my top 5 favorite concealers for the year of 2022. So let's get into it. You guys have to know what concealer I'm going to pull out first. The one that has kind of been a game changer for me, it's the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer. I am absolutely obsessed with this. And the others that I'm going to talk about, I really love. And many of them were a favorite before this was launched. But man, once this beautiful skin concealer was launched, it kind of just replaced all of my concealers. I absolutely love it. I love this formula for spot concealing. I love this formula underneath the eyes. You can set it with powder. You can leave it without powder. It's one of those concealers that's very versatile. I would say it's more of a medium. I wouldn't call it a full coverage, but it looks so natural underneath the eye, and it's got kind of a creamy texture. It's exactly what it says it is. It's a beautiful skin concealer. When I wear this concealer, I never get crepey underneath the eyes. It never gets gross and kind of gunked up in there. It's hydrating enough where it doesn't give you those kind of crepey under eyes, but it's not too hydrating where it sits in the lines and just sits there, right? So a lot of concealers that are too hydrating will sit in the creases and the folds of the under eye, and I don't really like that either. And so this is kind of the best of both worlds. Absolutely love it. So right now I am wearing shade 9 Tan as a spot conceal, and I wear shade 8 Medium underneath the eye. It's so lightweight, and a little goes a long way, and you can build it up if you need to without feeling like it's too much. I just love it. It has become my absolute ride or die concealer, and I'm obsessed. So well done, Charlotte Tilbury. It was about time. Can I just say that? It was about time she came out with a better concealer, because the one with the little spongy thing, that thing sucks. I'm just going to say it. The cap would get dried up. Like if you didn't use it for a couple days or a week or whatever, you'd go to use it and the cap would like dry up and you'd have to run it underwater just to even get the stupid cap off. And once you did, it aged me. Every time I used that concealer, it was too drying for my under eyes. And so when she launched this, I was a little bit apprehensive because of my experience with the other concealer. And then I didn't really like the Beautiful Skin Foundation. So I was a little bit hesitant, but oh, it is so good. It is just perfection. The next one I want to talk about is this one from Dominique Cosmetics. So I didn't really hear a lot of hype behind this one, but this is a beautiful concealer. The way that it wears, it has this cooling tip, which does feel really good. I do like the way this cooling tip feels. The other thing that I like about the cooling tip is that it prevents you from applying too much of it. So this is in the shade Cappuccino. And I'm almost out of this concealer. I'm almost out because I used it all summer long. So you can see how smooth that is. So I would say that this one is not quite as hydrating as the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury, but it's just as beautiful. It lays beautifully in those wrinkles. A little bit goes the longest way, and she did a good job on this formula. It dries and sets down, but it sets down in the softest way, so you really can't even see where I put that concealer. It sets down and it gives the skin a little bit of shine, but not too much shine. And so it's kind of wears like a good matte concealer, but it doesn't feel or look like a matte concealer, but it wears that way. Very long lasting. You can wear it with or without powder. Kind of reminds me of the Hourglass Vanish concealer, but it's not as thick. So if you are familiar with the way that the Hourglass Vanish concealer wears, it does look very smooth. It has that like smoothing effect, which is what I like about it. But you cannot get heavy-handed with that one from Hourglass because it is kind of thick and it will look a little bit crusty if you're not careful. But with this one, it gives you that smoothing look underneath the eye. You don't have to worry about it getting a little bit too heavy-handed with it because it's not going to get thick and gross. So well done, Dominique Cosmetics, for creating this because it's fantastic. The next one is my favorite full coverage concealer. So on those days where you've had no sleep and you've got some dark circles that are just hideous and you want to cover them up, this is when I love to pull out the KVD Good Apple concealer. So this was launched, I think, earlier this year. And I have used this so much. I'm almost out of this one, but I have this one in the shade medium 152. But this is straight up full coverage. And I love the little applicator because it looks like a traditional doe foot. I just love the applicator on this. It's a nice full coverage concealer that blends out really easily and it doesn't get heavy. You don't want to use a lot of it. If you guys are familiar with my channel, you will know that I like to wipe off any applicator that I'm using. So meaning that I will sit here and do this and wipe off the applicator so that I use only what's in the sponge, and then I'll kind of tuck it in like this, right? And I'll let it sit there for a second, and then I'll take my brush and blend it out, because that way I'm not going in with too much product, right? And that is just a very smooth concealer. And what I also like about that one is that I can do that with it. I can go over top of if I have something down. And as long as I use the tiniest amount, it's perfect. So you can see that this is more full coverage now, right? Because the Charlotte Tilbury is a medium coverage. So I'm going to wipe off the applicator like this and go right here. Let it set for a second. But I will drag that little spot and bring it all the way down and over. Like, you do not, this is one that you don't want to do like the traditional like TikTok thing now where they put it here and up here. I would not do that with this. I would take the smallest amount, stick it right here, and blend that as far as you can, like bring it all the way down, because it goes forever. It's really creamy, but yet once it's dried, it sets. It is a gorgeous concealer for full coverage. So if you're wanting something that's full coverage, I recommend that one. It's nice. It's a good one. Now, this is not new for the year of 2022. In fact, this might have been in my favorite concealers of 2021, but I still love it the same. This is a very natural, beautiful concealer. This is considered a clean brand at Sephora. I don't really get into all that, but some people are really into it. This, I would say, is a nice medium. I would say that this one from Kosas has all of the same points that I made about the Dominique Cosmetics, the one from Charlotte Tilbury. It's a nice medium coverage, looks really natural. The deal with this one, though, in my experience, I cannot get heavy-handed with that. So if I go in too heavy with this, this one will look thick and it will weigh heavy, especially on that delicate skin. So I can get a little bit heavy-handed with the Charlotte Tilbury and be okay. I can get a little bit heavy-handed with the Dominique Cosmetics and it'll be okay, but not so much with the Kosas. It is a beautiful concealer with good ingredients. It looks really natural. It looks nice. It sets down. It's not moving around. It's not going to crease and, you know, get gross throughout the day, as long as you don't use very much of it. That's the trick. The last one I wanted to talk about is this new one from Chanel. Now, this one is a very expensive one, and I'm going to be honest with you, I am still using my Charlotte Tilbury over this new one from Chanel, the Sublimage concealer that recently launched. And this is really pretty. It is. It's $90-some, because I guess it has the Sublimage ingredients, which it's my understanding that the Sublimage skincare line from Chanel, it's one of their more popular, most expensive skincare line from Chanel. I do like it. It's kind of like you're applying skincare, and I would recommend this for those who are okay with spending the $90 and you want something with good skincare ingredients and you want something that kind of feels like skincare and feels really natural. But this has good coverage though. P.S. This has a nice medium coverage. It does. I think this is perfect for those that really care about skincare ingredients and skincare derived makeup, because I think that's what makes this so expensive. And I feel like that would be the only reason that this would be worth it, in my opinion. I feel like it's a nice concealer. It blends beautifully. It feels kind of creamy and looks really natural under the eye. But is it worth $90? I feel like the only way I can say that it's worth $90 is if you really like skincare derived makeup. And if that's something that's important to you, then it's worth it. It is, because it's a gorgeous concealer. But I wanted to include it in this video because it is a gorgeous concealer. And even though it is $90, I still love it all the same. And I still have continued to use it since I reviewed it. And I think it has a lot of benefits, but it fits a particular need. So if skincare benefits are not that important to you, I would just stick with any of the others that I mentioned. I really would. But this does have nice skincare ingredients. The packaging stinks. It does. It comes with this little brush, which I do really like the brush. I keep it out here and I use it every once in a while. It's a nice brush. But I've been kind of getting the lid. So you'll see I've been getting most of the product from the lid, and now I'm getting down into here. Let me also say the smallest amount goes the longest way. So typically when I use it, I will like dunk my brush down in like this, okay? And I will scrape it off and use what's down in the bristles, and I will do both sides. I will start like this and kind of build it on both sides. I'm gonna have so much concealer on. Oh my goodness. But I will kind of build it like that and just keep tapping it in. Because you don't need very much, a little goes a very long way. If you are a little apprehensive about spending the $90, but you really want those skincare ingredients, then you can feel confident knowing that it's not something that you're going to have to repurchase a lot. So the splurge will last you a pretty decent amount of time, because I mean, you don't want to use very much of it. You don't need very much of it. It's a good coverage situation. So it's one of those that it might be worth it. It might be worth that $90 splurge if you like skincare concealer and that's important to you. But I didn't want to leave it off the list, even though it is ridiculously priced. So those are my top 5 favorite concealers for the year of 2022. Sound off down below. What is your favorite concealer? What is the concealer that you've used and picked up all year round? I'm so curious. You guys always have the best recommendations. So sound off down below. Let us know. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in today's video. Don't forget to check back here tomorrow for day 3 of my 15 days of beauty. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in tomorrow's video. Love you. Bye.